This is ABC7 News at 7, your Suncoast News. We're here for you.
As individuals, we have the right to have our personal beliefs, and those beliefs can be guided by our faith or by other things. For me, this is guided by my faith. Does it change my obligations or my responsibilities to every member of our community? Absolutely not.
Sarasota's newly appointed mayor fending off critics. Shelley Freeland-Eddy received endorsements during her campaign based on false answers on surveys regarding marriage equality and abortion rights. Some folks haven't forgotten as members of her own party question her ability to lead. Good evening, everyone. I'm Alan Cohen, and welcome to ABC 7 at 7. We'll have more on Sarasota's new mayor coming up. But first, our top 7 stories at 7. And we begin tonight in Washington, D.C., where for the first time since he was fired by President Trump, former FBI Director James Comey appeared before Congress. He called the president a liar and testified about his relationship with the president and the Russia investigation. ABC's Lana Zach has the latest from the Capitol.
Do you solemnly swear to tell the truth?
Today, the fired FBI director put his account up against President Trump's in the long-awaited public testimony of James Comey.
The administration then chose to defame me and, more importantly, the FBI by saying that the organization was in disarray, that it was poorly led, that the workforce had lost confidence in its leader. Those were lies, plain and simple.
Even before Comey said a word, his written remarks were made public, recalling 9 private conversations he had with President Trump, putting a spotlight on what the president asked of Comey and why he was ultimately fired.
Think about it. The President of the United States asking the FBI director to drop an ongoing investigation.
And after he was fired and the president tweeted about secret tapes, it prompted Comey to orchestrate the release of non-confidential information about his memos.
And so I asked a friend of mine to share the content of the memo with a reporter. Didn't do it myself for a variety of reasons, but I asked him to because I thought that might prompt the appointment of a special counsel.
But the president's team said early on that he felt completely and totally vindicated because Comey's written testimony confirmed one part of the president's story, that Comey told the president he was not personally under investigation. But they dispute Comey's accounts that Mr. Trump ever asked him for loyalty or to go easy on Michael Flynn. Comey asked about that, too.
I don't think it's for me to say whether the conversation I had with the president was an effort to obstruct. I took it as a very disturbing thing, very concerning, but that's a conclusion I'm sure the special counsel will work towards.
Comey pulled no punches. Asked why he kept those detailed notes, he said he was concerned that the president might, quote, lie about the nature of their meeting. One thing Comey didn't say, though, that the president outright asked him to drop the Flynn investigation. But on the suggestion that the president may have secret tapes of their meetings, Comey said he hopes so. Lana Zach, ABC News, the Capitol.
Here on the Suncoast, downtown Sarasota continues to grow with another new condo project set to break ground this month. The Mark, which is owned by the same company building the nearby View project, has announced plans to start construction at the corner of State Street and Pineapple Avenue. The Mark will add 157 condominiums and 35,000 square feet of retail to the area. It's one of 32 planned projects that will add over 4,000 new units downtown over the next few years. For some, the growth is exciting. For others, it is cause for concern.
Things that are healthy are things that are growing. And Sarasota has a very bright future ahead.
For me, what's always been the most important thing to concentrate on is 2 words called scale and character.
The Mark is expected to be completed by June 2019, at which time more than half of those 32 proposed projects are anticipated to be finished as well. It's an iconic symbol of Sarasota, and now the 91-year-old courthouse on Main Street is undergoing a major restoration. Workers are restoring the building's ironworks, repainting it and touching up the exterior. The county made initial repairs to the roof and tower a decade ago. The new work is expected to be completed by the spring of 2018. The courthouse will remain open for the duration of the project. Sarasota's Roberts Arena is also getting an upgrade. The entertainment venue seats about 50,000 people, and now the original hard plastic seats are gone. They will soon be replaced by black padded seats with armrests and aisle lighting. The new seats will be delivered on June 25th and will debut at a concert on July 28th. The work is being paid for through a Sarasota County surtax. Roberts Arena was built in 1967. A reminder for drivers on the South Coast, another big project is taking place on I-75, and it gets underway tomorrow. The Florida Department of Transportation will start work at the I-75 State Road 64 interchange on Friday. Crews will begin installing a new diamond interchange. They will also widen ramps and install sidewalks and bicycle lanes on 64. Signs have been posted to alert drivers about the construction. The work is estimated to be completed by late 2019. While Northport is one of the fastest growing areas on the Suncoast, a new report shows crime is on the decline. The report looks at trends over the past 3 years. On average, crime has gone down by around 8%. Authorities attribute the change to the focus on community policing and a more active presence on social media.
We've gotten to the point here in Northport that if we have your photo and you're from around here, we're going to recognize you.
This is the second year Northport has released a comprehensive report on crime. Bradenton Beaches Police Department is getting new resources to respond to emergencies on the water. Manatee County commissioners are approving up to $50,000 to install a boat lift for police near the historic Bridge Street Pier. The police department says it will reduce response times and give officers better access to the intercoastal waterway. Funding will not be available until October 1st. Little less rain today, Bob. What's in store for the rest of the week?
Well, more sunshine definitely tomorrow, and a beautiful day out there for some boating. It has been tough going lately for boaters. Small craft advisories were lifted today, and looks to be pretty good tomorrow, although there's still a bit of a surf out there. We have had some sunshine finally, a few brief showers here and there throughout the day, but boy, it's going to be nice for us tomorrow with lower humidity around and sunshine, plenty of it too. And you can see the last shot here showing fair skies overhead. That system is now really shifted out east and south of us now. You can see that activity quite clearly off to the east of us, and a little bit of a frontal boundary has slipped through. Winds are out of the northwest now, and that dry air is filtering in behind it. You can see 1 or 2 spotty showers, mainly east of I-75. We'll keep a 20% chance for a coastal shower in the mix tonight, but not much expected here with all the rain well east of our area. Currently, it's mostly sunny and 83. The dew point temperature is nice, 67. Winds are out of the northwest at 12, and the pressure still fairly low at 29.78 inches. And we expect sunshine tomorrow. You can see that looking off to the west of our location throughout the Gulf of Mexico. Not much to show you. Clear skies, sunny, and then things will start to change, though, as we press towards Saturday afternoon, as that frontal boundary that's now bringing us such the nice weather will move back northward as a warm front and increase our rain chances. So, Alan, looks good for this evening. If you have plans this evening, not bad. And then tomorrow, lots of sunshine. Weekend, rain chances increasing. We'll talk more about that later.
Okay, thanks a lot, Bob. And still to come, backlash from members of her own party. Sarasota's new mayor, Shelley Freeland Eddy, still has work to do for not revealing her personal beliefs on marriage equality and abortion during her campaign. The details when we return.
Designers do it with style.
Tell me what's going on here.
Why, you don't like my hair?
The Mark and Mandy Show. In-depth design ideas.
What is up with the tuck tape here? Let's cover it up.
Amazing beauty and fashion tips.
So Halle Berry has amazing skin. Her secret is coffee grounds.
No.
Delicious recipes.
Today, I'm going to show you a special dish that is sure to please that special someone in your life.
Watch The Mark and Mandy Show right here on your favorite channel.
Attention, Americans eligible for Medicare. Are you getting all the benefits you're entitled to? Did you know there may be money available to lower your medical prescription costs? Call Health Markets and we'll tell you if you qualify.
Hi, I'm Dr. Martin Jeetsi. It's a new Medicare year. That means more changes and more confusion. The key question is, what can you do now to ensure you get the care you need in the coming year?
Call Health Markets today. You may qualify to save money on prescriptions. We'll help you find plans that may cost less, cover more, and could even lower your prescription costs to increase your savings. We help you find all the benefits you're entitled to, and we do it at no cost.
Make sure you have what you need to get the care that's right for you.
Find out if you qualify to receive extra help with your prescriptions. Call the number on the screen now. Representatives are standing by.
It's fine that other people like you. It's more important that you like yourself. And I'm comfortable with every part of me. Meals on Wheels coming to my door as someone who's housebound assures me that I'm not forgotten. They care that I'm okay. My name is Asha Ida Bell. America, let's do lunch.
Drop off a hot meal and say hello. Volunteer by donating your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org.
I dream of the creature by night and by day. Wielding my weapon, I slaughter my prey. 2,000 cash, I'll be rolling in dough. So hey, you big monster, come out from below. So hey, you big monster, come out from below.
Check out mysuncoast.com/dining, your guide to the foodie lifestyle.
Sarasota has a new mayor, and while it's mostly a ceremonial position, it does represent a quick rise to prominence for Shelley Freeland Eddy, who was elected to the city commission just 2 years ago. But as Kate Flexter reports, Eddy still has some fence mending to do over what she did during her campaign.
For 2 years, local attorney Shelley Freeland Eddy has served as a commissioner in the city of Sarasota, just now taking on the appointed role of mayor. But her political career began with controversy after answering a survey for the LGBT rights group Equality Florida that won her an endorsement from the group and campaign contributions.
What happened during the election was a calculated move to gain the support of Equality Florida and Ruth's List in the Democratic Party.
In the survey, Eddy said she supported gay marriage and abortion rights. But after her election, she sent this email to then Deputy Director of Equality Florida, Stratton Politzer. She writes, quote, "Because of my faith, I should not have completed the survey responses the way I did, and I should not have accepted your endorsement. Therefore, I must insist that you remove my original survey responses regarding marriage equality and abortion rights." It was an email that immediately caught backlash, including from member of the Democratic Party, Gabriel Hammond.
It's our obligation as private citizens to hold our public officials and elected representatives accountable for the commitments they make on the campaign trail and when they're in office.
As she takes on this new role as mayor, Hammond hopes to see a clear obligation to equal rights.
It's up to her now to demonstrate her commitment to the LGBT community and to women.
Political science professor at New College, Keith Fitzgerald, says Eddy's actions are common among first-time politicians.
You know, I think when people run for the first time, they have no idea of the level of scrutiny they're going to be under.
With that added scrutiny, Fitzgerald says walking the line between public positions and private ones is increasingly difficult.
The more passionate people are becoming in their partisan differences, the harder it is for people to maintain those kinds of distinctions between private and public views.
Now, 2 years after the survey and the election, we sat down with Eddy to find out where she stands on those two issues. Here's what she said.
There's no intention on my part to do anything that would remove rights, reduce rights, or do anything that would make it more difficult for any individual, including members of the LGBT community, to exercise their rights in our community, in our city, and anywhere in the state of Florida and nationally for that regard.
She makes a distinction between her personal beliefs and her legal views. It's something she touched upon in that original email, writing, quote, "I fully support equal protection under the laws of our land." She points to the issue of gay marriage as an example.
The Supreme Court, the federal government, and the state of Florida have all said that that is legal and an equal right for everyone, and we absolutely uphold that.
But when it comes to her personal views,
my definition of marriage is not based upon what the Supreme Court says. My definition is based upon me being a follower of Jesus Christ and being a Christian and God's definition of marriage. And that's my decision and that's my personal view.
So 2 years later, Eddie stands by what she said in the beginning and is vowing to protect equal rights in her new role as mayor.
As individuals, we have the right to have our personal beliefs, and those beliefs can be guided by our faith or by other things. For me, this is guided by my faith. Does it change my obligations or my responsibilities to every member of our community? Absolutely not.
In Sarasota, Kate Flexter, ABC7, your Suncoast News.
In a moment, we talk it out with both sides, discuss other challenges facing the new mayor and the city council on the trapezoid.
Are you Goodwill?
Yes, because when I donate
or shop at Goodwill,
I am creating a job. I am Goodwill, yeah.
Are you a food lover, restaurant goer, or home cook? Then check out My Suncoast Dining on mysuncoast.com, your guide to the foodie lifestyle. ABC7's own Chef Judy serves up her favorite recipes, cooking tips and trends, dining blogs, and helpful step-by-step videos. And you'll love the restaurant guide with direct links to your favorite Suncoast eateries. Whether you're cooking in or dining out, whet your appetite with tasty tips from Chef Judy at mysuncoast.com/dining.
This is an important medical announcement. Bard IVC filters have been linked to punctured veins and problems with migration. Anyone who's received a Bard IVC filter must receive medical monitoring and may be entitled to substantial compensation. If you have the Bard Recovery G2 or G2 Express filter, you are in a class of patients who should be compensated for some expenses. Call now for a free assessment of your case and potential money damages. This call is confidential. There's no cost and you may be eligible. Juries have awarded millions of dollars to people who should have been warned about the risks of the Bard IVC filters. Call the IVC Filter Hotline if you or a loved one has received an IVC filter and experienced a vein puncture or required medical monitoring. You must call now.
Call 800-329-3089. 800-329-3089.
Save big during the summer leather clearance and pay no interest till June 2018 with same-day pickup or next-day delivery. This special purchase deep-seating leather match sofa now $5.99. It's like floating on a cloud with this leather match sofa at $6.99. Or put your feet up in style with comfort in this dual reclining leather match sofa only $7.99. Exclusively at the Furniture Warehouse in Sarasota, Bradenton, Venice, Port Charlotte, and Ellenton.
And save big. Tomorrow at 5 on ABC7, your Suncoast News.
How moderate drinking affects your brain. That's coming up in the next Health Smart.
Tomorrow at 5 on ABC7, your Suncoast News. We're here for you.
Shelley Freeland Eddy isn't new. It has been a point of contention since she first revealed her actual stances on gay marriage and abortion. But let's start by breaking down the difference between a commissioner and mayor in Sarasota. While the position is mostly ceremonial in nature, there are certain responsibilities. The mayor acts as a figurehead for the city, acting as the representative on trips. The mayor also presides over the city commission meetings, but has no veto power. They can also call a special emergency meeting of the commission. And joining us for more is Zach Murdoch, local government reporter for the Herald Tribune, Ken Sheelan, a former Sarasota City Commissioner and current chair of Equality Florida, and Keith Fitzgerald, a professor of political science at New College of Florida. And we also want to note we did invite the mayor to be here tonight, but she was unable to attend. Ken, let me start with you. Is this water under the bridge?
No. I think the fact that Shelley was recently appointed mayor raises the question again about her integrity and her honesty, because she took advantage of an organization and its endorsement to get elected, and then repudiated that endorsement and the answers that she gave on our questionnaire a month after she was installed as a city commissioner. So again, it raises that question. Who is she? What are her qualifications? What kind of integrity does she have? Can we trust her? And it also raises the question of how our mayor is appointed, because the public does not have an opportunity to vet the mayor and the person assuming that job.
Well, the public did have an opportunity to vote on whether to have a strong mayor or not, and that was turned down by the voters of Sarasota County. She would say, in fact, we talked the other day, that, hey, was 2 years ago, it's time to move on.
Well, people are who they are. They don't change. The leopards can't change their spots. They are who they are continuously. Now, people evolve, I suppose, over time, but things like integrity and honesty and ethics are something that are built into you. They're ingrained in you.
Zach, I know you were not here 2 years ago when this did happen, but do you still hear about it at City Hall?
To be totally honest, no. In the last year and a half, frankly, the commission's been consumed with so many other things, so many newer, shiny controversies,
and pension funds.
And in the last round of elections that we just finished, there were far too many other issues to worry about that this really, in my line, sitting in City Hall, has not come up.
Keith, you said in Kate's piece that sometimes first-time candidates get caught up in these surveys. You have taken those surveys.
I've taken tons of those surveys, and I'll say that I took the Equality Florida survey several times, and I took the Human Rights Council survey as well. I didn't have a hard time answering the questions, and I didn't change my views afterwards, to be fair about that. But you know, when you're a new candidate, you're hit with a lot of people giving you a lot of advice. What I would have said if you had a problem with this group and what they were advocating is just don't fill out the survey. And so when I would get some of these surveys from groups that I just fundamentally didn't agree with, I just filed them in the round file cabinet.
But exactly. She may have been the first-time candidate, but you know, she is an experienced lawyer. And you know, Paul Ryan said today, in terms of Donald Trump, you have to give him a certain pass because he's a first-time candidate and now president. I mean, is what's good for the goose good for the gander?
I don't know if you've noticed it, but there's a just a little different. Difference between being a first-time city commission candidate and being president of the United States. For one thing, you have a little higher grade of advice about how to do these things. I don't think that there's any equivalency in all seriousness. I think that the thing that always struck me about this was that it was a guileless move. It didn't make a whole lot of sense. There's no reason she had to be filling out that form in order to get that particular endorsement. It probably didn't make any difference.
All right, we are just getting started, and we will pick up the discussion of Mayor Freeland-Eddy and the separation of private beliefs and public policy and other issues right after we check the weather.
Credit card debt can ruin your life. If you owe $10,000 and minimum payments are siphoning away your paycheck each month, you can get debt-free in less time than you think.
I've paid $800 a month for the past 3 years and haven't changed the balance on my credit card.
Get Debt-Free Now has a program to reduce your debt, stop the harassing phone calls, avoid financial ruin, and settle for less than you owe.
I feel like a huge weight has been lifted off my shoulders.
You're pre-approved for our special hardship program if you owe $10,000 or more. Upon payment of your new lower balance, your debt will finally shrink until you are debt-free.
My family no longer has 30 years of payments ahead of us at 20% interest.
There's no fees until you see results. So call now, make one monthly program payment, and free up your cash. Resolve your debt.
Call 800-685-6422, 800-685-6422.
The color in my garden keeps the pink in my cheeks. I was very independent and thought I could take care of myself. I fell and I had to have Meals on Wheels. They're my savior. My name is Lola Silvestri. America, let's do lunch.
Drop off a hot meal and say hello. Volunteer by donating your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org.
Are you paying too much for your cable or satellite TV?
the U.S. government passed a bill mandating free over-the-air digital transmission of all broadcast network television channels. That means with the new TV Freeway digital antenna, you can get free HD programming from your favorite broadcast networks 24/7 without a bill. You just plug it into the back of your TV and start watching all of your favorite broadcast programs for free. There are no contracts to sign, no hidden fees, and no monthly fees. Just free HD broadcast TV. Take it with you anywhere. Call or go online now to get your TV Freeway stick for the incredibly low price of only $14.99. But wait, call or click now and you can get a second TV Freeway stick for a second TV. Just pay a separate fee, but you have to order right now.
Call 1-800-809-5196 to get your TV Freeway. Call now or go to tvfreeway.com. So call 1-800-809-5196. This offer's not in any store. Call now.
Our discussion of Sarasota Mayor Shelley Freeland Eddy continues in a moment, but right now let's get a check on our forecast from Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan. Bob.
Yeah, Alan, just about a month and a half ago or so, I was on that trapezoid table talking about the big drought and the fact we have a high fire danger. Things have changed drastically, so we need to have a tropical system move through to really put an end to that, and it certainly has happened. Look at these numbers now. This whole state is in the dark blue category. That's 0 to 99, 100 to 199, so things looking very good here. As far as the fire danger goes, even the drought index has lowered somewhat. We're still in a drought, but it has gone down a little bit. Incredible number of 16, meaning that there's about 8 inches of actual rain moisture in the duff layer across much of Highlands County right now. All that rain and rough weather is now well east of our immediate area. Still some pretty heavy weather down south into the Florida Straits, but we're looking at some dry air. Now the front is down to our south, but this dry air is in place, and we'll continue to see this northwesterly wind flow, which will bring in slightly cooler temperatures to start the day off tomorrow morning. You'll notice it, especially in the humidity values being a little bit lower. And a little chance for rainfall on Friday. We'll have more sunshine. We had a few brief showers around today near the coast. Some inland action going on right now. We'll look for a 20% chance for rain tomorrow afternoon. Rainfall totals not very impressive today at all, but they were over the past 4 or 5 days up to nearly 20 inches down near Marco Island. And the satellite and radar imagery showing clear skies from Georgia all the way over to Louisiana. That's what we're in store for on Friday as high pressure builds in. Right now it's 83. We have fair skies at north to northwest wind at 12, and the pressure still pretty low, 29.78 inches. The high today was pretty close to the average. The low this morning was a warm start at 79 degrees, and just 0.04 of an inch of rainfall. But more importantly, we've had nearly 5 inches for this month already, and we're well above average for the month at 3.61 inches, and for the year, just about 2 inches below average. Temperatures for lows tonight, these are not highs tomorrow. These are low temperatures will be into the low 70s for the most part. We're looking for highs tomorrow into the mid 80s. We'll have just a few clouds around. No real threat of any significant rainfall. The rain chance at 20% for a few late day showers, and that'll be mainly in the inland areas pushing off toward the east coast with that northwest wind. Now the forecast for boaters looks good. Again, seas running 1 to 2 feet with a light chop on the bays and inland waters, and west winds turn in the afternoon 10 to 15 knots. Here's a look at the extended forecast. Better chances for scattered, mainly afternoon storms on Saturday and Sunday. And then we really get into that rainy pattern Tuesday through Thursday of next week with those sea breeze fronts really developing. Alan will be right back after this.
Northland Outdoors is about so much more than the biggest fish or the hottest hunting spots. All across the Northland, there are amazing people with incredible stories to tell. We're going to find those stories and share them with everyone. Join us each and every week as we explore the Northland and experience some of the most exciting outdoor adventures in the country right here in our own backyard. This is Northland Outdoors.
This is an important medical announcement. Xarelto and Pradaxa have been linked to uncontrollable bleeding and even death. If you've been prescribed one of these drugs and have experienced these dangerous side effects, you may be entitled to substantial compensation. Studies show that Pradaxa can cause more heart attacks than warfarin, and other countries have already issued safety warnings against this drug. Call now for a free assessment of your case and potential money damages. The call is confidential, there's no cost, and you may be eligible. Juries have awarded millions of dollars to Pradaxa victims, and thousands of Xarelto victims are filing their legal cases. Call the Drug Watch hotline. If you or a loved one used Xarelto or Pradaxa and experienced uncontrollable bleeding, brain hemorrhage, or even death, you must call now.
Call 800-793-6055. 800-793-6055.
How long have we been married there?
For 76 years.
He was kind and generous to me before we married, and he was kind and generous to me all these years. We decided on Meals on Wheels because I was getting to the point where I couldn't do all the things that I had been able to do. We're the Spans. America, let's do lunch.
Drop off a hot meal and say hello. Volunteer by donating your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org.
Have you ever wondered what it's like to save a life? Find out by donating platelets at Suncoast Blood Bank.
I'm Haley Wilgus, ABC7. Platelets aid in the clotting process and are vital in the treatment of cancer and surgical patients, trauma victims, and critically ill newborns. It's tough to keep enough on the shelves because they only last 5 days. To donate, call this number or visit scbb.org and you can help save a life.
ABC7 congratulates Suncoast Blood Bank on 65 years of serving our community.
Welcome back. If you're just joining us, we are discussing the newly appointed mayor of Sarasota, Shelley Freeland Eddy. She is facing pushback from some groups over her beliefs on abortion and marriage equality. She was not forthcoming about them during her campaign and even misled some groups while seeking their support. Joining us for more on the situation is Zach Murdoch with the Herald Tribune, Ken Sheelan, a former city commissioner and the chair of Equality Florida, and Keith Fitzgerald, a professor of political science at New College of Florida. So, Ken, what do you do next time around when she runs for re-election?
Well, that's going to be an interesting predicament for the voters in her district because she represents a district which is not traditionally African American. And the question at the time that she was elected the first time was how did that happen? Because that hasn't happened before in Sarasota. With this kind of history of deception and a lack of honesty and forthrightness, and now excuse making, trying to make it look okay what she did, I think the voters are going to have a little more to chew on in terms of deciding who to vote for.
Keith, what kind of conundrum is the local Democratic Party in? This is not just about LGBT rights and marriage equality. This is about abortion rights. This is a Democratic city. Is the party in a tough position because it's an important seat and you have an incumbent here?
Well, honestly, I don't think it's a problem for the party so much because the Democratic Party has produced all of the winners in the local commission races. And if someone were to emerge to run against her, I would imagine it would be a Democrat as well. So I don't think it's really so much a partisan issue. I think it's a real dilemma for voters because I think a lot of people like and respect her in general terms, but have a problem with this, and ultimately it'll be up to them.
Zach, when you're talking about city politics, you know, the African American community in Sarasota is a very important component to how Democrats do citywide and countywide. So from that perspective, Democrats who are not happy about what she did have to be a little bit careful about how they go about it.
Well, sure, absolutely. Though, to both of these gentlemen's points, I would argue that in 2 years' time, Shelley's service as mayor and the many, many things that they're going to be talking about for the next 18, 24 months, all of the various projects, all of the huge infrastructure issues, the Sunshine lawsuit, the STOP conversation that we've had throughout the spring about development, there are going to be so many other things that will be more on people's minds that the city will have just tackled. It may not be as big an issue.
Ken, that's an important point. You are a former city commissioner here. There are all those projects and issues that Zach was talking about that you may have in common in terms of what the mayor's position is. So how do you handle something like that?
Well, that's assuming that she does what the district voters want. If she doesn't, they won't vote for her. So it just depends on what happens. If she does a good job, then she has a basis for fighting and perhaps saving her seat. But if she doesn't do much, and I guess the question is, has she done very much in the first year and a half or 2 years on the city commission? If she if she doesn't do much, she's going to be in trouble.
Well, let's bluntly ask the question. Is anyone recruiting a candidate to go up against her in that district and in that district in terms of people who are supportive of LGBT rights and marriage equality and abortion rights? How much does it count for in terms of the actual vote?
Well, we don't get involved in politics, so we're not recruiting a candidate, but we certainly, at least the political action committee part of the organization, would be interested in who runs and what their positions are, which is how we ended up with Shelley's endorsement. But I think there's an important point that people missed in this last election, and that is that the Political Action Committee of Equality Florida did not endorse anybody in the city commission race. Why? The reason was, I think, because I'm not a part of it, is that they got burned, and they didn't want to get burned again.
Keith, Democrats, especially given the national attitude right now, are really going to be out there trying to make strides, whether it comes from the State House, the State Senate, and Congress. The party cannot afford to alienate any part of its base. So is this an issue that the party really has to be aware of?
Well, in this specific race, again, remember, it's a nonpartisan race and it's a nonpartisan seat. And honestly, candidates tend to come, they self-recruit, they come forward. So we'll see if anybody comes forward. You know, it'll be up to her to see if she can regain people's support. I know at the time, plenty of people who are on the progressive end of things, not just the party, said, no way I'll ever forget, no way I'll ever forgive this. But as Zach points out, time goes on. Maybe there will be more salient issues at the local level that will change the way they look at it.
Have you ever seen anything like this before?
Well, I think that if you actually went back and looked at whether or not people remain consistent with what they've said in the various different surveys they filled out, that unfaithfulness is widespread. So there's nothing shocking about that. But as far as going out of your way to get an endorsement at the time that this was really ripe nationally, it seems unique to me.
But this is why people have become very cynical about politicians and politics in general, is because it's you say one thing and you do another. Zach, you cover local politics before. You know, you are in those commission chambers and you see the attitudes of the public as they walk in there. Are people basically beaten down in terms of their confidence, in terms of their representatives and doing what they say they're going to do?
I would say less so at the local level, but it's all in the same vein. I mean, everything that people feel about their legislators in Washington and in Tallahassee absolutely trickles down to the local level.
And just so people know, there seems on the City Commission, the big issue is pro-growth, reining in growth. Where does the mayor fall into issues like that? You
know, she has walked a very fine line to make a point of being neither, frankly. The mayor is always the one who's asking for more data, further review. She has voted in both directions on different projects and different issues related to growth, and she tries to be a very moderating voice in terms of the two kind of voting blocks that you see on the commission for and against growth, and I think that's obviously very strategic. So.
Okay. Let's take a quick break, and when we return, we'll have final thoughts from our guests, plus what some of our viewers are saying about last night's topic, recent backlash towards comedians.
You love your couch and want to protect it from spills, food, and scratching, shedding pets. Introducing Couch Coat, the reversible, washable quilted cover that protects your couch. Shield against spills, wow, stop stains, and dirty pet paws and sharp claws. Plus, it's reversible with 2 stylish colors. Guaranteed to fit any couch up to 92 inches or your money back. It even has covers to protect armrests. Machine washable too.
My grandkids destroy everything, but with Couch Coat, my couch is always protected, looking as good as it did the day I bought it.
Get your Couch Coat for just $19.99, and it's reversible in brown and cream, like 2 couch coats for the price of 1. Order right now, and you can double your offer. Get a second Couch Coat. Just pay a separate fee. Order right now.
Call 1-800-943-0710 to get your couch coat. Call now or go to couchcoat.com. So call 1-800-943-0710. That's 1-800-943-0710. Call now.
Enjoy some of the best Suncoast restaurants on me. Just go to mysuncoast.com/dining, sign up for the newsletter if you haven't already, and you can win a $50 gift card to a restaurant in our area. We'll pick a winner each week, so go on our website and sign up now.
If you're only hungry for a slice of apple pie, why buy the whole pie? And you certainly wouldn't want to pay for an all-you-can-eat buffet. So if you don't use your cell phone that much, why get charged for a plan that's too big, or even an unlimited plan? Luckily, there's still a wireless company that shares your values. Welcome to Consumer Cellular. Our average customer pays about $25 a month for everything they need. Many pay even less, as plans start at just $10 a month. You'll get a straightforward bill that's easy to understand, with no surprises, and all the attention you deserve from our friendly customer service team. No wonder Consumer Cellular has received J.D. Power Awards for highest customer service. Plus, if you're an AARP member, you'll receive special discounts. It's easy to switch. You can even keep your phone and your number. So stop paying for more than you need and start your 30-day risk-free trial today. Call 800-457-2317, go online, or visit a Target store today.
Welcome back. How much weight should we give to an elected official's privately held beliefs? And what if they lie about them before being elected? Our guest joins us right now for final thoughts. And Ken, on a whole range of issues, we kind of talked about this, that there are people out there who may be, let's say, against abortion rights, but on the job, you know, in their public position, they're supportive of that. I mean, isn't that the same case here, that the mayor is going to stand up for the LGBT community?
I don't think so. I think there's an important distinction that was made here a moment ago, and that is that people's positions can differ publicly and privately, and people can evolve as well in terms of their positions. But it's entirely another thing to be deceptive about your positions. And the timing of Shelley's reneging on those positions with respect to marriage equality and abortion rights happened right after she was sworn in as a city commissioner in June of 2015. A lot of people gave her money, a lot of people voted for her, a lot of people supported her. The Political Action Committee of Equality Florida endorsed her. That all meant something. But she repudiated all of that. And that's not fair, and I hope the public remembers that.
Keith, I remember Governor Mario Cuomo from New York, a devout Catholic who was privately against abortion rights, publicly for it. What Ken seems to be saying is something totally different.
Well, I think they're disanalogous issues. The issue with gay marriage, which was the particular issue here, is one of basic human rights to be recognized as equal. Abortion rights, you can say that a woman has a right to make a choice, even if you think the choice she ought to make is not to have the abortion and not be internally inconsistent. So they really are very different kinds of issues, it seems to me.
Zach, I'm going to give you the last word, and if you could talk about the atmosphere on the city commission these days. I mean, this was in the mayor's past. You have a lot of other current commissioners who have, you know, been outspoken on different issues, had other issues associated with them. How does this all play together?
Well, I would tell you that even though we've had this conversation tonight and we've reflected on what happened a couple years ago now, there are so many things that this commission is facing and so many fights it still has with itself and frankly with other local commissions ahead of it, that there are a whole slew of other tests that are heading the mayor's way. It's going to be a packed full schedule for the next year, and at every turn they're going to be challenged on something else regardless of what happened in a campaign.
All right, we'll have to leave it there. Thank you all. But before we go, we want to share with you what some of our viewers are saying about last night's topic, comedy and censorship. In recent weeks, we have seen a backlash against comedians like Kathy Griffin, Bill Maher, and Stephen Colbert over language, images, and jokes. Last night, we spoke to comedy legend Dick Smothers about this. Smothers and his brother dealt with censorship in the 1960s over jokes which seem innocuous by today's standards. He pushed back against the idea of drawing a line for comedians, and here's what some of you are saying. Deborah Larson writes, comedians are governed by the reactions from their audience. If people find something particularly offensive, they let the entertainers know. Jim Jackson writes, we need them so bad now. And Nick DeLuca writes, typically, if you are facing backlash, your joke probably wasn't very funny. Well, what do you think about Sarasota's Mayor Shelley Eddy Freeland? Join the conversation by visiting our Facebook page at facebook.com/news@7. And FYI, you can watch past roundtable discussions on demand. They're available on Apple TV, Amazon Fire, and Roku. Thanks to our guests for being here tonight. Zach Murdoch covers local government for the Herald Tribune. Ken Sheelan is a former Sarasota City Commissioner. He also chairs Equality Florida. And Keith Fitzgerald is a professor of political science at New College of Florida. When we return, we'll have a final look at your weather, plus a community in mourning. Families of the victims of a workplace shooting in Orlando are holding an emotional vigil. Find out what they're saying about the attack in our primetime headlines.
It's Lincoln's summer sales event here at Alex Karras Lincoln. Drive a brand new 2017 Lincoln MKC Sports Utility for $249 per month or 2017 MKZ for $299 per month. We are proud to introduce the newest addition to the Lincoln lineup, the all-new 2017 Lincoln Continental. We have a great selection and ready for immediate delivery. Alex Karras Lincoln, affordable luxury, winner of the prestigious 2015 President's Award, serving Florida's Suncoast since 1978. We are located 2 miles north of the Sarasota-Bradenton Airport on US 41.
The official salon of ABC7. Cutting Loose Salon.
I heard about the Dotoli Cancer Center through friends of mine who had been treated here and were very pleased with the treatment.
If there is prostate cancer, we at the Dotoli Cancer Center will find it using 3D color flow Doppler ultrasound.
And that helped precisely identify where my cancer was and some additional cancers that were not found during the biopsy. I would recommend the Dotoli Cancer Center. As a group of human beings, they are unbelievably great.
Thanks to my volunteer, I am a better eater.
Thanks to my volunteer, math seems simple now.
Thanks to my volunteer, I discovered new career goals.
I'm a volunteer for Sarasota County Schools, so I know I can make a difference. And you can too. Give an hour, change a life.
Your primetime headlines are coming up in a moment, but right now let's get a final check on our forecast from Chief Meteorologist Bob Harry. Bob.
Well, we talked earlier about the high fire danger. We still said we're in the drought. We are, but the numbers have gone down. We were in the extreme drought across much of central Florida, but from the recent rains up to 5 inches, that has come down a little bit. We're still in that severe range, though. You can see all of Manatee and all of Hardy, some of DeSoto and Sarasota counties still in that, again, tough drought condition. Now, we are looking at this frontal boundary down to our south now. The dry air is in place, obviously, and we're getting this northwest flow, and that's allowing us to see slightly drier air move in as that front settles down to our south. It will eventually move back northward as a warm front and bring us a chance for some showers and some tropical downpours, but that doesn't really happen until Saturday afternoon and Sunday afternoon as a result of that front coming back our way. Satellite enhancement showing showers and storms down near Cuba. Very intense area of showers and storms there. Also over the northern Bahamas getting some rainfall, but into the Gulf, all is quiet now as everything's kind of moved out. Sarasota, Bradenton, 83 degrees right now. Venice, it's 81, and Bradenton, 80 degrees. Temperatures, these are dew point temperatures. These really tell the story. In the summer months, it never gets below 72 really, but that's where that warm, moist air has moved down to South Florida. We're into the dry air now. This is going to be a nice start tomorrow morning. Lows will be into the upper 60s to low 70s across the region. Low 70s to mid 70s near the beaches. And then Friday's forecast looks better than today. We won't see much rain at all. A slight chance at 20% for an inland shower late in the day. Otherwise, mostly sunny, just a few clouds down again. High temperatures at the beaches into the mid 80s. In the inland areas, it approaches 90 degrees around 2, 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Futurecast RPM model showing That storm system continues to slowly slug away, but you can see this front coming back northward, and that's the return of the moisture. Those dew point temperatures down in the 70s will come back our way on Saturday and Sunday, and just enough moisture and just enough heating of the day will allow for some showers and storms to fire up. Most of the action inland, however, the rain chance at 50%. And we'll have to keep an area out here, a watch in this area out there in the Gulf of Mexico, as it appears that something may be trying to pop up down there. Water vapor imagery showing this is dry air again, all moving across our region. And as far as temperatures go, it's warmer in Billings, Montana right now than it is in Sarasota. And it looks like it will stay pretty warm out west. We'll see temperatures tomorrow fairly close to seasonal averages. Light chop in the bays and inland waters tomorrow. The extended forecast does call for nice weather tomorrow. And then a chance for scattered storms over the weekend. Better chances for those afternoon and evening storms Tuesday through Thursday of next week. Alan is back with prime time headlines right after this. Stick around.
They're coming from Tampa, Fort Myers, even Orlando. They're coming from everywhere for the Sarasota Ford Promise. Our promise means a new car you'll love. If not, return it for one you do. At Sarasota Ford, we promise live market pricing. We monitor national pricing on our entire inventory, so you get the best deal. In fact, we guarantee it. Bring us any competitor's ad, and we'll beat it by at least $1,000. That's why they're coming from everywhere to Sarasota Ford, where 41 meets 301. SarasotaFord.com.
I knew I could get myself out of this. I just needed some hope and some help.
I took the first step to recovery when I made the call.
Since 2014, Addiction Hope and Helpline has answered calls for recovery and treatment 24/7, 365 days a year. If you're depressed, drinking, using drugs, or taking pills, call now and talk to someone who cares.
I had problems just getting to sleep, drinking and using pills every night.
I feel like I'm losing control. I'm afraid I'll lose my job or even my family.
Most insurance covers substance abuse. You can get back on track. Call now for hope and help with proven gentle recovery programs.
I never thought that I could be somebody who didn't drink and use drugs.
I have something to hold on to for strength. I'm in recovery, getting the help I need.
Call 800-622-1941. 800-622-1941.
All hands on deck. What's up? I want to point out 3 tips for using the home computer more safely. Point away.
First, stop. Make sure your software is up to date and that you've password protected your computer's login and Wi-Fi connection.
Next, think before visiting a site, opening attachments, or clicking on links.
Then connect, knowing you're helping make the web safer for you
and for everyone. Make Stop, Think, Connect part of your daily online routine.
Tomorrow at 5 on ABC7's Good Morning Suncoast.
Hello, I'm Jacqueline Matter.
And I'm Ray Collins. The Bradenton Boat Show is back this weekend in Manatee County.
We'll tell you where you can check out over 100 new boats on display. That's tomorrow on Good Morning Suncoast. John?
Now, speaking of boating, I think the weather will be much better for boaters this weekend. We'll be looking at some drier weather as well coming into the Suncoast.
Tomorrow at 5 on ABC7's Good Morning Suncoast. We're here for you.
Now for your primetime headlines, we begin overseas in Great Britain, where the country is holding a general election. Voting ended earlier this afternoon. Now exit polls show Prime Minister Theresa May's party will likely lose seats in Parliament. Bad news for Brexit negotiations, which begin in 11 days. ABC's Lama Hassan shows us why the election has become a contentious one.
The polling stations in Britain opening their doors bright and early today as voting begins in this high-stakes election, which could have huge repercussions for relations with the US. Called by Prime Minister Theresa May 7 weeks ago to get the backing of the country as she starts negotiating a Brexit deal after Britain voted to leave the European Union, saying she can deliver a successful exit.
Let us reignite the British spirit, because together we can do great things.
Her contender, the opposition leader Jeremy Corbyn of the Labour Party, focusing his message on education and healthcare.
We are people coming together with a view, a vision and a dream of the kind of world that we can create.
But their campaigns were marred by 2 terrorist attacks. In Manchester, suicide bomber Salman Abedi attacked the Ariana Grande concert, killing 22 people.
Oh my God!
And just last week in London, 3 machete-wielding men unleashed their deadly assault, first by using a van to mow people down on London Bridge, then slashing others enjoying their Saturday night out. The party leaders fighting tooth and nail, making terror and dealing with extremists high on their agendas. Theresa May recently offered President Trump a state visit hosted by the Queen. So will that relationship change if Jeremy Corbyn wins, who's already said that he is going to stand up to President Trump? All eyes will be on that special relationship between the US and Britain and what happens next. Lama Hassan, ABC News, London.
New developments in the rising tensions between North Korea and the West. South Korea confirms the North test fired several surface-to-ship missiles today. The missiles flew about 125 miles before hitting off the coast. It may have been intended to protest the U.S. Navy, whose ships in the area doing drills with South Korea's military. This is the 4th missile test by the North in a month. Now to the nation of Myanmar, formerly known as Burma. Officials have found the wreckage of a military plane that went missing yesterday. It was carrying 122 people, including military personnel and their families. More than a dozen bodies have been recovered so far. A total of 15 children were on board. Contact with the plane was lost about a half hour into its flight. A follow-up on an Orlando workplace shooting left 6 people dead, including the shooter. Families and friends of the victims holding an emotional vigil at a church just feet away from the awning company where the mass shooting took place.
Somehow, some way, that we're going to get through this, each and every one of us as a community, because we have to, and it's what Dad would want.
If you haven't reached down and hugged your kid today, do it now.
Sheriff's deputies say the gunman was a disgruntled former employee who planned out the shooting and targeted specific individuals. Florida's lawmakers are entering the second day of their special session with the focus today centering on regulating medical marijuana. Under a compromise between the two chambers, marijuana dispensers could run up to 25 retail outlets. The state currently has 7 licensed vendors. An agreement requires health officials to approve 10 more by October. 2 Senate committees are signing off on the plan as the House prepares to hold a vote on Friday. The final sticking point, whether patients should be allowed to smoke the drug.
The idea of allowing smoking or not smoking has been one of the most difficult decisions. We need to walk before we run. As we let this very infant industry evolve.
If you're sitting in your living room and you determine for yourself that your pain is great, why should the state of Florida say no? You can't address that problem.
Tomorrow is the final day of the special session, and that's all the time we have for this evening. I'm Alan Cohn. Thanks for joining us. Have a great night.